Here we are in the finals of the Ruby Cup 2, sponsored by Technofee. Wolzarg versus Fridge. Is Wolzarg the higher seed here? I think he is.
Yes, Wolzarg was the fourth, so he should have the option of playing first.
And he did choose to play first. Keeps his hand of 7 versus Fridge's hand here. Fridge, of course, playing Mono Sapphire has plenty of options here, and we see he has that powerful Cerulean Mirror Knight Storm Cloud power combo. On the other side of the board, Wolzarg leads with a Sapphire Shard.
It has been revealed. It's Fridge.
It is Fridge there. The ominous shadow is, in fact, Fridge. Alright, so we see he is going to lead with a Sapphire Shard here. Pass turn, no plays available. Turn 2, he has a couple of choices to make. Likely, he'll hold up Verdict. That's not likely at all. You see the Ruby from Wolzarg who tunnels a troop. We know what that is.
If this were a game of Simon Says, I don't think Fridge would be able to answer that.
That's true. So we're going to see the second Sapphire Shard here. Now, which of his multiple plays, he is going to tunnel his own Reese on the other side of the board here. We see the follow-up Shard from Wolzarg. Both players going to be reaching 3-on-3. And we see Wolzarg plays down a Cerulean Mirror Knight, which is, as of this moment, in no danger of being bounced. And against a Mono Sapphire player, Cerulean Mirror Knight's actually kind of strong. Only has to fear bounce. Somebody has our stream running in the background. Just as a... I can hear it through their speakers. See the worker bot being played out here as a defense against the Cerulean Mirror Knight, I guess? No, well, not as a defense, but...
It's an interesting decision here between Mirror Knight or Stormcloud, and deciding on neither.
Nothing. That is an interesting thought. He's going to do neither there. I'm guessing the mirror... Now that I think about the worker bot, it's there to slow down the champion power from Wolzarg. Because we know Wolzarg is very aggressive with the... Especially now that he's got 2 Mirror Knights. If he had a 4th charge, it's almost certain he'd have played it as a way to gain 2 cards here.
I'm trying to think of why he would not play either. Maybe to feign counter magic.
Possibly to hold up Verdict. He's gonna lay down. Oh, he's gonna play down the Stormcloud first.
Because he can Stormcloud, Crackling Vortex, Mirror Knight, then sacrifice the Stormcloud. The second Crackling Vortex is just a bonus. More concerned about getting the Mirror Knight's Inspire on the 2 Stormlings rather than greed and go a second Vortex next turn, if only.
Yep. So we do see he gets a...
Interesting that he went Mirror Knight after the Cloud there, though.
Well, just opting to... He needed to... In order to play Cloud, he needed to play the Vortex. So he wanted the charges on the Vortex, intending to sacrifice it right away. So that puts the Inspire on the Stormlings rather than on the Stormcloud.
Yeah. Meaning he gets 2 Stormlings inspired as opposed to 1 Stormcloud at the risk of a burn.
Sure.
So we do see the 4th resource here from Wolzarg, but he doesn't choose to use his charge power this turn for the 2 cards, and is just swinging in with a single Mirror Knight here. Of course, that Mirror Knight could be double blocked if Fridge really wanted to, but instead he's just going to put the Splashy in front, likely sacrifice it and gain 2 cards here. Goes back up to 7 cards in hand, and at the start of his turn will draw to 8, which is... Mono Sapphire is just always in a really good spot when they have tons of cards, especially when one of those cards... Like, he needed that counter magic here.
And because Wolzarg spent resources this turn, this opens up a really neat play by Fridge. As Wolzarg went first, if we assume that's a race, which I think is accurate, right now his race will come out first. But because of a certain 5-cost action,
yeah, that Mastery of Time is going to be very strong here. Wolzarg didn't use his charge power because he didn't have double Ruby Threshold. That is something that I should have realized right away. You see the Mastery.
So it is actually Fridge Reese, which will come out first with the charge power able to be used.
And now it is actually in a really strong defensive position as well.
Look like you tried to use the Thunder Puff there pre-combat.
So using the Thunder Puff to draw a card, exhaust the Buccaneers so that a block and the burn isn't possible. Mirror Knight itself is not enough with a burn to kill Reese.
We see a random worker bot is created, which actually makes a heavy welding bot. There's nothing in the graveyard for that to pull back. 8 cards in hand, so at the very least, Fridge will want to put down a resource here. Not really sure he wants to put anything else onto the board here. He's probably just happy to sit on this hand. Gets a Mimeo bot and is allowed to create replicas of a troop in his hand. He goes for Buccaneer, which is probably the stronger strategical option. Reese, of course, would have been the more fun option, but these players aren't playing for fun.
What are we in a draft?
Yeah, what are we in a draft? We see Reese surfaces, is counter magicked. No verdict or counter magic in response. Wolzarg goes to 5. Now the Gorfeast player going to be in a really tough position here to get out of this kind of situation. Just a lot of pressure being applied. Swings in with his Buccaneer, and Fridge throws his original worker bot in front of it, not wanting to kill it and let Wolzarg draw a card.
2 cards, I believe.
Oh yeah, double inspired Buccaneer.
So doubly important not to let that die if he can help it. And the worker bot not doing much. Maybe if he gets another heavy welding bot, he'll have something to bring back. Crackling Vortex, giving him 2 charges, enough to use his charge power again. A reactor bot.
It's a reactor bot here. Slight upgrade over the worker bot. Buccaneer comes down.
While he has a lot of resources, he does want to keep his resources up to counter magic or verdict. In this situation, verdict. But yeah, big troops ahoy.
Swings here for 8. Wolzarg is just going to take that on the chin. Goes to 7.
Oh, wow.
That's a slaughter gear.
Yeah, that is a slaughter gear.
Not a gear, slaughter gear.
A tectonic mega hulk.
Tectonic Mega Hulk, yeah.
It's
hiding
almost
behind
the same.
chat, so it's a little hard to see, but they both send the same signal. This game is done. Wolzarg concedes, and Fridge takes the first victory, which is a strong victory for Fridge in this matchup because it is one of the ones where Wolzarg got to choose to go first this game, right?
Yep.
So
Fridge was on the draw.
now, even if Wolzarg does pull back in Game 2, Fridge will get to choose to play first in Game 3 should he choose to. And that's important for him in this situation, just as, like, typically speaking, it's always important for them. Like, going first is just always an advantage, but going first over the Goreface player, also really important.
I was pretty close to ideal for Fridged on that game, really. Being able to not give additional card draws to his opponent. I mean, Mono Sapphire doesn't kill troops, but sometimes that can be an advantage if you're able to just jump and stall long enough and not give them card advantage. And then, of course, having the Mastery to get his Reese first, and then the Counter Magic and Verdict to protect it. Stop his opponent's Reese. All right. And we're going into game 2.
Opening hand by Fridged here. Not what he's going to keep. Although he does have an alternate arts Cerulean Mirror Knight that might sway his decision here. So, no, he actually does choose to draw again.
Funny enough, the value of cards in your hand usually doesn't come into account on whether you keep or
Wolzarg
redraw.
also mulled to 6. Worth noting. So both players mulling to 6 here. So we see that first resource from Fridge. He's going to put down his Sapphire's Charge he just drew and let the turn go by. Wolzarg hopefully going to have a second shard here. With both players mulling to 6, you always have to wonder what they capped in their 6, because there are some most people will keep a risky 6, I think, as compared to their 7. You see Time Ripple on a Sapper's Charge.
Interesting.
I almost see some confusion on Fridge's face. He's like, what? So we see the tunnel. Really only one thing that can be if we look at Fridge's deck list. And we see the Cerulean Mirror Knight come down, which was almost expected with the Time Ripple on Sapper's Charge, but we don't see a third resource, which Wolzarg is probably praying for that third resource at this point. And Fridge is going to respond with a third resource, going to Buccaneer that Cerulean Mirror Knight. At this point, Wolzarg can't even replay it until he draws a shard.
Yeah, Fridged with the tunnel there. All he really needs to do is try to lengthen this game out, buy himself some more turns.
He does find a third resource, replays the Cerulean Mirror Knight. And at this point, Fridge has enough resources to not only replay the time-rippled Sapper's Charge, but use it to destroy the Cerulean Mirror Knight.
Sapphire doesn't have access to much direct damage. Sapphire charges one way. A little bit expensive, but when you need 2 damage, you got 2 damage right there. Similar in function to Chaos Key.
Yep. We see that worker bot come down as a defense against the charge power, but Wolzarg with no fourth resource just has to pass the turn.
Yeah, Fridge showing a lot of respect for the Gore Feast here, potentially.
He's trying to decide whether to play anything this turn or not. Decides to play Mirror Knight.
And the Storm Cloud really develops his board here.
Yeah, it's fair asking whether you think Wolzarg is trying to hold up counter magic there, but he's probably happy to have that counter magic if it happens because he's got the Reese coming up this next turn.
And interestingly, he uses Time Ripple on the Storm Cloud after it hits the board after the Cerulean Mirror Knight. And we see another turn has passed.
Oof.
Reese is surfacing. And Reese is countered.
So bullet dodge there, but Wolzarg would not another resource.
The counter magic almost certainly something he had in hand after that late Time Ripple. He was holding on just in case there was a way for Reese or something to develop on the board. He waited until the last second, really.
Slight facepalm there is forgetting to click or misclicking mirror attack with Mirror Knight. 1 damage could matter.
We'll see if Wolzarg manages to find a way to develop his board here.
Worth noting that he could not have played the Storm Cloud and the Cerulean Mirror Knight. Storm Cloud does cost 3 right now.
So we see a Crackling Bolt, which will destroy one of the Mirror Knights here, if I'm guessing.
The uninspired one, or the Buccaneer, which represents the most damage. Nope, the non-swag Mirror Knight.
So now we will see a replay on the Storm Cloud, the Sapphire Shard in response.
And now, even just sacrificing the Storm Cloud now, he draws 2 cards.
He sure does.
He might even just leave it there because, like, you kill my Storm Cloud, I'll draw 2 cards anyway. So he may just wait for more of that, unless he wants more cards now.
He swings in for 3, takes Wolzarg down to 11.
It's like he will take his more cards now.
And gets a splashy off of the single counter. So it's another 2 cards.
Pretty good. Spend 2 resources and get 4 cards out of the deal. Well, I guess it was 3 because it got bounced.
Now Fridge looking at a ton of strong cards in his hand versus Wolzarg still stuck on 3.
How much damage is that Buccaneer about to have done? Like 8 damage this game?
Yeah. It's put through a tremendous amount of damage. And I mean, a 2/2 will do that if it's not answered. You know, any troop can deal damage, but Buccaneer is actually kind of strong as a 2/2 in the meta where a lot of cards that have high value, like Cerulean Mirror Knight, only have that 1 attack and can't trade. Splinter Vazitoth hits the board. Anything Wolzarg wants to play at this point will be affected by that 1 shot and return to hand.
Effectively delaying a card by 2 resources. And as that so happens, it's got probably one of the highest attacks of the cards in his hand. So 3/4 in the air. Also with 4 defense outside the range of a single Crackling Bolt.
Looks like this may be an exchange of GGs here.
Could be. Wolzarg sent his message quite a while ago, actually. That whisper notification was driving me insane.
Yeah, having the splinter out here, it's pretty much over. Even if Wolzarg had counter magic available to him,
Could just be sent back.
you just be sent back and go for the mastery regardless.
Yeah. Well, and he did have the counter magic.
That is what's going to happen.
So without the splinter, would have been a little bit worse of a spot for Fridge, but he has it. Good games are exchanged, and we have our Ruby Cup Season 2 victor, Fridge Tex.
I don't know who did that. Oh, that was
Hacky's GG button. So congratulations to Fridge for taking everything down. We'll have the standings up on the screen here momentarily, I'm sure.
He's going to do his dance for you now. Are you going to share that on stream?
No dancing on stream. You have to go to the stream for that. So yeah, once again, huge shout outs to Technophy for all the background work he does, and to our judges, and for sponsoring the cup. Thank you to Jadeem Jedi and Hacky Channel for being here and casting. Any final words before we close up for the afternoon, guys?
This was awesome. I'm gonna go play some arcade games now. No, thank you to everybody for coming out, playing, watching, enjoying. Thank you for holding this event. Hope to see you again.
I want to say I think this is one where, I mean, certainly Fridge getting the bye because of his opponent not being able to participate helped out, but also just having the experience and knowing how to play the matchup helped a lot against the Gorfies there. Like not just the second game where the Gorfies player was pretty resource starved, but even the first game where he denied the card draw and was able to outmaneuver on the Reese. It was a good showing.
The next cup in the line will be the Diamond Cup on the 8th and 9th of August, which is going to be set 3. It's going to be Myth Chapter only. So set 3 only cards. Just as a huge shout out to other community events going on, the Rock League is currently taking place. So if you want to head on over to the forums, I'm sure Technophy can link it up in chat. Again, prizes are set 3, guys, so prizes won't be out immediately. Expect those when set 3 is launched, hopefully Tuesday. And thank you guys for being part of such an amazing community, coming along and having a great time. And yeah, I think that's everything. Have an awesome afternoon and stay